There is a very beautiful tradition in the Bharatiya Samskriti, and that tradition is devotion to God and devotion to the devotees of God. Devotion to God is almost all over the world we see that. Devotion to the devotees of God, they are called as bhakta. The devotees are called as bhaktas. So devotion to the bhaktas also, and listening to the story of the bhaktas also, listening to the life history of the bhaktas also, has been very, very, very widely since time immemorial practiced in this Bharatiya Samskriti. So yesterday we sang that bhajan, Nijaguna Shiva Yogi's bhajan. So in that bhajan, it's very, very beautiful to know that Nijaguna Shiva Yogi is from Karnataka, and the other bhajan which he has composed, which we sang some days earlier, Om Namah Shivaya bhajan, in that he calls that stotra as Arvattu Mooru Puratarana Stotra, which means the eulogy or the praise or the hymn for the 63 devotees of Shiva. Directed towards the 63 devotees of Shiva. For example, all of us have heard of Kannappa Nayanar, Bedara Kannappa, the hunter Kannappa. The hunter Kannappa, naturally he is of that particular clan, hunter clan. And hunters, even today, there is the hunter community. In Karnataka, there is the hunter community, we call as Valmiki community here. There is a community here in Karnataka. Maybe perhaps in all over the states of Bharat also there will be this community. So the hunter communities, it is by nature itself, born in that community, their food is also of that hunting and then getting the food. So Bedra Kannappa was very, very meticulous in his occupation. Whatever occupation God has given, that occupation he used to follow that occupation, and he used to survive. So one day, he is an adult now, Bedra Kannappa is an adult now. Then he is going to search for something for hunting, but he is not able to get anything for hunting. By chance he sees something very solid and black looking in between the grass. So he just goes and then moves away the grass, thinking that might be a dead animal or something. Then he finds a Shivalinga there. He finds a Shivalinga there, beautiful Shivalinga, and he touches the Shivalinga with his own hands, and then he cleans the Shivalinga. Completely he cleans it for whatever reason. He's very, intrigued to see that something like this is there in this forest, all filled with leaves and everything. So he just cleans it nicely. Then for one moment, all of a sudden, the past karmas are all completely wiped away, and he remembers that he was also a Shiva devotee earlier. He suddenly recollects that this is none other than Parameshwara, this is none other than Lord Parameshwara who has come in this form of the Shivalinga. So he just does pranam to that. Then he says, oh, I think you are also hungry, it's time for food now. So he goes and searches and he gets something, hunts something and brings. Then he cleans that, then he tastes it and sees whether it is okay. Then he offers it to Shiva. He offers it. And then after the offering also, he leaves it, let him have it. And then he said he goes away for some time. In the meanwhile, there was a priest who used to come regularly for doing puja to the Shivalinga. And he was not at all devoted properly, but he used to just come and do it as a duty and then go. So he came and saw the Shivalinga is absolutely clean, but he sees meat in front of Shivalinga. He sees meat. So he's offered the meat and kept, so he, apachara, it's paap ho gaya. He says, now somebody has committed a sin here. So with a stick or something, he pushes away the meat from there, and then he again washes it and then goes. After some time, Kannappa comes, and then he sees, then he brings back who has taken away the food? He doesn't see that the meat was moved away. He thinks that Shiva has eaten it. Are you happy? Good. Very nice. So this way Kannappa's devotion is growing. There is a bigger story of Kannappa Nayanar, which I will not say, but he is a devotee of Shiva. Bhagavad Pada, the Shankaracharya, who has shown the world the orthodox method of worshipping God and the Vedas, he sings a hymn to Kannappa Nayanar. what a simpleton you are, and what high devotion you have offered this one. So definitely Shiva does not see any other paraphernalia or rituals, he sees only devotion. He beautifully sings the glory of Kannappa. Same way, Nijaguna Shiva Yogi also sings the glory of Kannappa because he is a devotee of Shiva, and he says, I fall at the feet of Kannappa Nayanar, who is so devoted to Shiva. I fall at the feet of Karikal Ammayar, another lady devotee, who is so devoted to Shiva. I fall at the feet of Nilakanta Shivacharya, Nilakanta Swami, who is so devoted to Shivacharya. So like this, we all have the tradition of being devoted to the devotees of God. So in one way, if you see, Sri Ram is Paramatma and Hanuman is a Bhakta of Shiva, of Ram. So we are devoted to Hanuman. So we are fulfilling that one. It's a great opportunity for us to now sing the glory of Hanuman. We are on page 33, verse number 102. We know that now Mainaka Parvata has come up now in order to remove the fatigue of Hanuman. Sasagar jalam bitva babhuva abhyuttitastada yatha jaladharam bitva Deepta Rashmir Divakaraha Sasagara Jalam Bhitva, that is the Mainaka Parvata has pierced through the waters of the ocean and he has come up. Babhuva Abhyuttitastada Yatha Jaladharam Bhitva Deepta Rashmir Divakaraha. Just like the sun, he pierces through the clouds and then comes out like that. Similarly, Mainaka Parvata has pierced through the water and come up, so that now he is visible to Hanuman also. Then that Mainaka became in the risen state, passing through the ocean water, just like the sun piercing through a cloud with shining rays. Now Mainaka Parvata is visible on the surface of the ocean. Samahatma muhurtena Sarvatah Salilavritah Darshayamasa Shringani Sagarena Niyojitah Shatakumbhamayai Shringai Sakinnara Mahoragai Adityodaya Sankashai Alikhat Birivambaram. Now once the Parvata has come up, this is another beautiful thing of this Parvata. It is not an ordinary mountain. It is a very, very special mountain which has been residing inside the waters, and we know that aquatic creatures are there in the water. But the moment the Parvata has come up, now it is showing trees and beautiful, all flora and fauna are there now. That great Mainaka who was covered by water in all directions, who had peaks with kinnaras and great serpents which were equal to a sunrise, which were touching the sky and which had a golden hue being ordered by the ocean, showed his peak in an instant. Moment the Parvata came up, now you see all people residing, many different living beings are residing on the Parvata, and it's shining, glowing like anything, like a sun. Tapta jambu nadai shringihi shringiga parvatasya samuthitai Akasham shastra sankasham Abhavat kanchana prabham. Now the sky also, how is it looking now? The sky, which had a bluish tinge like that of a sword, shone with a golden hue because of the peaks of the mountain which rose up and which was like molten gold. The sky was looking normal, just like a sharp sword. When it is highly polished, even silver also looks bluish in color. Silver also, when you look at it at a particular angle, it looks bluish in color. Similarly, the sky was looking bluish, but now when the Parvata has come up, now golden hue is there, glowing away, like beautifully glowing. Jata Rupamaya Shringai Bhrajamanai Swayam Prabhai Aditya Shata Sankashaha Sobhavat Giri Sattamaha. Now, Jatarupamayahi Shringaihi, beautiful. The peaks are so beautiful, and they have just come. They have come up with their own glow. The peaks have got their own glow, like the Himalayan peaks. The peaks seem to don't have any glow of their own, but because of the sun rays falling on them, sometimes they are showing golden color, sometimes they are showing silver color, sometimes slightly mixture of silver and gold. So also the Parvata is beautifully glowing. That best among mountains became equal to 100 suns with its peaks, which had a golden hue and which were shining with a self-generated shine. They have got self-generated, because some may be quite possible sulfur and other minerals, metals are there inside. So they are also glowing on the Parvata. Tamutthitamasangena Hanumanagratasthitam Madhye Lavanato Yasya Vignoyamiti Nishchitaha. Hanuman is now spotted the mountain, but naturally he is a very, very sharp, very, very sharp person, being, very highly sharp intellect. So suddenly he has seen that this mountain has come all of a sudden. So it could be an obstacle which has come there in order to stop me. So now he is not immediately taking anything, but he is actually giving that a blow, giving the mountain a blow. Hanuman, on seeing the mountain which stood before him, rising up from the middle of the salty ocean, suddenly decided that it is an obstacle. Satamuchritam matyartham Satamuchritamatyartham Mahavego Mahakapihi Urasa Patayamasa Jimutamiva Marutaha. So he is going at a higher level. Now he sees that there is an obstacle, and his Hanuman is also of a huge size, so he has got a very solid chest. That great monkey Hanuman, with a great speed, brought that great tall mountain with his chest, just as the god of wind would a cloud. That is, brought means he bashed against it. Hanuman bashed against the mountain with his chest, just like a wind would come and bash against a cloud. So it was not at all, it's nothing at all for Hanuman. Satatha patitastena Kapina parvatottamaha Buddhva tasya kapirvegam Jaharsha chananandacha. Now when a child comes and when it's a very infant child, for the first time it is building up energy. A child is building up energy, it comes and slowly taps the mother with the hand and the back and on the full entire body, father or brother, or it's a very infant child. So that blow is the most pleasant blow, isn't it? That blow is the most pleasant blow. It looks like so nice, it feels so pleasant. So also when Hanuman bashed against the mountain is feeling so happy about it. It's very, very, the best among mountains, Mayanaka, thus being felled down by that Hanuman, recognized Hanuman's speed and lauded him with pleasure and praised him with pleasure. You are doing very well. Mentally, Mayanaka is lauding that Hanuman. We'll make a pause here.